Throughout this week, we, beginning with Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, on Sunday, began to hear the shofar each day and to recite Psalm 27 twice a day, traditionally in the morning and in the evening. And so Psalm 27 is traditionally said this evening. It's remarkable that our sages picked only one psalm out of the 150 to be the mantra for this penitential season, for this opportunity of self-reflection to become a better self, a more fully who I can be. Psalm 27, like all the 150 psalms, is very purposefully constructed. Some of the psalms are gleeful. Psalm 150, for instance. Others are remarkably depressing. Psalm 88. Psalm 27, like most of the psalms, is complex. Hard, frankly, to pinpoint what's the emotion. And in fact, there's a movement in this psalm that is presented as follows in our Siddur on page 113. Rabbi Elie Feld, the editor of Siddur Lev Shalem, who also wrote a book on Psalms, writes as follows, entitled Elul. The psalmist begins with a sure and confident expression of faith, well-being, and personal strength, bordering on bravura. Little by little, however, doubts, fears, pains, and anxiety emerges. Similarly, as we move through the penitential season, we may find ourselves reaching beneath our masks of self-sufficiency and confidence, increasingly aware of our vulnerabilities, failings, and doubts. For many years in this time, when everybody was in the sanctuary on a Friday night, it was my minhag, my custom, to read Psalm 27 and to ask people what phrase jumped out, grabbed them, and then we would have a little bit of a discussion. Well, tonight, I invite you to do as follows. I'm going to read the translation I prepared for my teaching of Psalm 27. And I invite you to listen to the words as my teacher, Rabbi Pesach Krauss, the great teacher of hospital chaplains, taught, to close one's eyes and to see the psalm as if on a screen, unfolding. I'll read it, and if you'd like to do it that way, or just to listen, see the psalm, hear the psalm, and allow it all to flow through you. And at the end, I'll ask a question. And that question will be, which phrase grabbed you? Psalm 27. Adonai is my light and my deliverance. Whom shall I fear? Adonai is the strength of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evildoers draw near me to devour my flesh, my tormentors and my enemies, they are to me. They stumble and they fall. If a camp encamps against me, my heart shall not fear. Even if war arises against me, in this I do trust. One thing I ask of Adonai, of this I seek, that I may find Shabbat, Sabbath, in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold the pleasantness of Adonai and to awaken in God's palace. For God will deliver me in the divine sukkah on the day of evil. Conceal me in the concealment of God's tent. Upon a rock will raise me up. And now raise up my head above my enemies who surround me. And I will sacrifice in God's tent, sacrifices of truah. I will sing and hymn to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice when I call, and grant me grace and answer me. To you, my heart has said, seek my face. Your face, Adonai, I do seek. Do not conceal your face from me. Do not turn away in anger your servant. You are my help. Do not cast me off. Do not leave me, my God, of my deliverance. For though my father and my mother leave me, Adonai will gather me in. Parent me, Adonai, of your way, and lead me on an upright path, despite my watchful foes. Do not give her over my spirit to my tormentors, for having risen against me are false witnesses who breathe out violence. Were I not to believe that I will see the goodness of Adonai in the land of the living? Hope for Adonai. Let your heart be strong and courageous, and hope for Adonai. And now give yourself just a moment to reflect on one phrase, one moment, one image that somehow resonates in this moment. And as you allow yourself to feel the emotions that come with that moment, amplify it as simply emotion. And as you hold that emotion, allow yourself to be fully present, breathing in and breathing out, and feeling your own strength, your own wholeness in the presence of God as you hear the concluding line. Hope for Adonai. Let your heart be strong and courageous, and hope for Adonai. Ribono Shalom, Master of the universe, there are dangers, and yet there is reason to feel safe too. The safety of knowing that life ultimately is a gift, and that your presence surrounds us. May we all live with hope. Amen.